Hey guys, so for y'all that are joining, I'm just going to wait a few minutes to give a chance for other people to join, but I'm basically here to answer any questions about softball. So while we wait, if y'all want to go ahead and comment where you're watching from or start commenting questions, I'll get right to it in a second. Hey. Hey Coach Robby. Yeah, so if you just joined, I'm just waiting a few minutes to give other people a chance to join. So. And if you are just joining, I already said if you want, you can comment where you're watching from, like what state, and you can start asking questions, and I'll start answering them in a second. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. For those that don't know me, my name is Madilyn Giglio. I'm from Louisiana. I play for EC Bullets Gold 18U Snooty. I am a 2021 outfielder slapper, and I'm committed to LSU. So I'm basically here to answer any questions that y'all have, softball related. You can ask me about recruiting, slapping, outfield drills, anything really, so. Hey Andy, go Bullets. Hi Larry. Hi Gina. I play outfield. This past season, I played right field for the Bullets, but this past school ball season, I played center. So. What's my favorite pitch to slap? I'd say outside, and that might be kind of weird because I feel like a lot of coaches like to throw outside pitches to slappers, try to strike them out or whatever, but I don't know, I feel like as a slapper, we love outside because that's kind of what we work on so much because that's really a lot of what we see, so I would say outside pitch. Have you always hit from the left, or if not, what age were you turned? Well, so I danced for 9 years, and then when I was done dancing, sorry, that's my dog. I decided that I wanted to play softball, so when I went to my hitting coach, he was like, oh, you're fast, let's just hurry up and put you on the left side. So I never really learned how to hit from the right side. I've always been a slap hitter from the left side, and yeah. I started slapping when I was like 10, I think. My home to first time, so the fastest that I've ever been timed is a 2.5 something, and that was at a camp, and that was just kind of, I didn't hit a ball or anything, I was just going through the motion and running, but during games and everything, I'm more in the 2.6 range. What are you going to college to major in? I really want to major in kinesiology at the moment because what I want to do with that is either become a physical therapist or like an athletic trainer. And the reason I really want to do that is because, being with my trainer, they always have helped me reach my goals, and I kind of want to do that for athletes and help athletes reach their goals. And same thing with physical therapy, if I can help somebody to, get back on the field when they're injured or anything. So that's kind of something I've always wanted to do. Hi, Michelle. Being from Louisiana, was it always a dream to play at LSU, and how did it feel to get the offer from Coach Charina? So yes, because, I'm only an hour away from LSU, and, growing up, my dad would always bring me to the LSU games, so, LSU softball was kind of the first, glimpse I got of college softball, so I always grew up a Tiger fan, and LSU was kind of a dream school for me, so when I did get the opportunity to go on a visit and get an offer from Coach Beth, that was so cool for me, and it was a dream come true, really. Do you have a favorite softball player? Yes, so I have two, actually. My two favorites are AJ Andrews and Bailey Landry, because, like I said, I grew up watching LSU softball, and those were the two slappers who were, going through the program at that time. So I grew up watching them, and I've really always wanted to be them because I feel like they're so, they can do so much with their game. Watching Bailey Landry, she'll, slap through a pitch, and the next pitch she'll just go up there, stand, and hit, So I want to be, diverse and, be a threat like they were. What made you choose LSU? Like I said, it's always been a dream school, and then when I went on my visit back in October, I just loved the school, everything about it, including, the coaches, the softball program, everything there's top-notch, and then when I was making my decision, I decided to, take the softball side out of it and just kind of look at the school itself, and I realized that even if I wasn't coming here for softball, I would really like to come here, just as a student, because I like the school as a whole. What is your favorite memory from playing softball? I have a lot of good memories, so that's a really hard question, but I guess my most favorite memory and one I'll never forget is my first PGF Nationals, and I say that because that's the first time I really got in front of really good competition, and it was just a really cool experience being in California, playing the best teams. And I just remember, because my team, we ended up losing our first bracket game, but went 8 games straight without losing, finishing in the top 10, I think. And that was just a really cool experience because, it feels good to just keep winning, and your body's just exhausted. And I don't know, I just love that feeling. It was the best. At what age did you decide you really wanted to play softball in college? I was 12, and that's kind of when I started getting into, the recruiting process. When I was younger, I loved softball, but when I was 12, I got on more of a competitive team, and that's when I realized, I wanted to keep doing this and do it in college. So. How did you deal with being patient and climbing the ladder while keeping an open mind, not just zoning in on Power 5? So, I always told myself to keep an open mind no matter what school it was, no matter what division. So any visits or, anytime a school was interested in me, I'd take them seriously because you never know, yeah, you might have your dream school, but maybe another school contacts you and you go on a visit or you go to a camp and you might end up loving a school that you never thought you would. So during the recruiting process, I really tried to keep my mind open because, you never know where you're going to end up. And you never know what school you're going to fall in love with, is basically. What made you leave dance and play softball? How long have you been playing softball for? So I danced for 9 years, which is a long time, and I was just kind of, I just kind of got tired of it. I didn't really want to do it anymore. So I was kind of looking for something else to do. and my family, like I had cousins who played softball, and my dad was really into softball. Like even while I was dancing, we'd go in the front yard and he'd throw me pitches. Like I was like, why am I doing this? I'm a dancer, but it's still, that kind of helped me get into softball. And how long have I been playing softball? I started when I was 10, so I guess 6 years now. When did you start going to prospect camps at LSU? What age? My first camp, I think I was 11, and I think I went again like when I was 12, and yeah. What individual camps did you go to be seen by a Power 5 school? I really just chose camps that I was interested in or like had interest in me, and that's kind of how I went off going to those camps. But yeah, I would definitely, my biggest advice on that would be go to a school that's interested in you or you're interested in, because I think that's how you get the most out of the camp. What was the most important thing that Coach Mandy taught you about the recruiting process? Well, Coach Mandy's been a huge help, and I think she really helped me with communicating to coaches because, before I was just sending emails, but Coach Mandy kind of helped me realize, you need to be a little more personal with your emails, keep in touch with coaches once to two. Sorry, the Wi-Fi cut out, but I don't know if you heard me, but I said that Coach Mandy really helped me with the communication side, and she really helped keep me on track. She helped me be more responsible, kind of make sure I'm sending these emails once a week or every 2 weeks. So, yeah. When the coaches can't talk to you, how did you know they are interested? So the coaches can't talk to you, and they can't really say much to your coaches, but they'll kind of talk to your coaches and be like, hey, I really like this kid, can you send her down to a camp? And then you'll go to that camp, and after the camp, you're allowed to talk to the coaches, and they can't really tell you much. They can't tell you I like you if you're not a junior, but just talking to them helps to see how interested they are in you. And after the camps, how everybody goes and takes pictures. Make sure you go up to the coach and introduce yourself. Be like, hey, I'm a blah blah blah. I had a really great time at your camp. Thank you, and just thank them. When did you know you were a Division I athlete? Well, I didn't know what division I'd end up in, and it's always been a dream to be a Division I athlete, but I always believed in myself, and there were people along the way who were I don't know if you're good enough to be a D1 athlete or whatever, but I always believed in myself, and I think that's really important because as long as you believe in yourself, you can achieve your goals. Papa, so proud of you. Have to thank parents for being supportive of you. Tell everyone your weekly work routine. Thank you. So luckily right now during quarantine, I'm still able to work out with my trainer, which is really great because if I couldn't work out with my trainer, I'd probably freak out because I would just feel lazy and I don't know. But so I guess I can talk about out of quarantine and all this COVID stuff, but I try to work out twice a week, and right now all the fields by me are closed, but I try to go to a field and do some outfield and try to do that at least twice a week, and I try to hit off the tee every day, and when I'm not hitting off the tee every day, I try to go to a batting cage and get some get some not live pitching, but front toss. So yeah, that's kind of what I do weekly. Best advice for younger girls getting started in the recruiting process. Okay, so when I started getting into the recruiting process and everything, my biggest advice would be don't stress over it, trust the process. And a lot of people told me that. They were like, trust the process, you're fine. But I don't know, I just didn't listen to them. But that'd be my biggest advice because I feel like I spent so much time stressing about where I was going to end up. But to be honest, it's going to fall into place and you're going to end up somewhere you love no matter how much you think it's not working out. So my biggest advice would be just don't stress over it and enjoy it, because it really is a good time. And then another piece of advice I'd give is try to get seen by coaches, and a good way to do this is to go to their camps. And like I said earlier, make sure you're introducing yourself to them like at the end of the camp and thanking them. And then something I always would do is take pictures and post them and thank them on your social media too. And, they'll see that and appreciate that. And yeah. Thank you, George. Okay, so it was so long ago that let me read the question. You turn a kid left. Do you teach hitting away before slapping? In what order do you teach or you think they should learn? Hit away, bunt, drag, soft, power slap. So I think when I started with, I guess I kind of worked like softest to hardest. Like I think I started with bunts and all that kind of stuff. But I heard from a lot of coaches that you should start kind of with the power side, like power slapping, and just to get down that power, because it's so important as a slapper to, have so many aspects to your game. Like, it's important to be able to bunt, and then maybe next at bat you just, like, crush it over their head. So I would say start with, like, power slapping, and then, go into the smaller things like bunting and bat placement and power hitting. What's your favorite thing to do at the plate, bunt, slap, or hit away? So my go-to is always power slap, because it's just what I'm most comfortable with, and I love like being able to punch it somewhere. But yeah, definitely slap is my favorite thing, and I just started working on hitting away, so I've been liking that a lot, and bunting's always really fun. With the new out-of-the-box rules, did it change your recruiting in any way? No, I don't think so. It was really hard to adjust, because, to be honest, I feel like all slappers were like this, but we were trying to get as close to that outside pitch as possible, so a lot of slappers did have their feet out the box and everything, so it was really hard to adjust and keep my foot in the box, and I still get called out the box sometimes, which really sucks, because they're definitely looking at it harder now, so it didn't really affect me recruiting-wise, but it's just a harder adjustment, I guess. Favorite bat, and what bat do you use? My favorite bat is definitely the Blue Ghost. It has so much pop, and I can still lay a bunt down with it, so that's my favorite bat. And sorry if I'm talking fast and rambling. I have a tendency to do that when doing things like this. Do you do any drills that focus on your footwork, which is key in slapping? Yes, footwork is very important in slapping, and just like we were talking about earlier, it's very important with the new rule and everything. You want to make sure that your foot is, staying in that box, because they will call you out. They pay really close attention to it, but a good drill to do so this kind of helped me out a lot, but you get like a little, even tape would work, but I had this like little pole thing. It was like this big, so if I stepped on it, like I wouldn't roll my ankle or anything, but that would definitely help, because when you're going through the box, you step on, you're like, oh, I'm at the box. So that's something that's really helpful to keep you from staying in the box, to keep you to stay in the box. And yeah, but footwork is very important. And always, this is like a big thing in slapping, and I'm sure you've heard it, but make sure that foot is facing like the left side of the field, because once slappers get their foot pointing like to the pitcher or even the other side, I don't know, that's going to cause you to open up, and it's just not good, slapping wise. What team are you most excited to play against in college? I don't know. I can't really pick one team because it's all going to be really exciting, but I guess when we start getting into SEC play, because, that's just really exciting to play all those SEC teams. Like, it's going to be, like, really great competition. So, I don't know. I can't really pick one, but I'm really excited to play them all. What are some good outfield drills? My favorite one is, it's called the star drill. So, you take 5 cones and you put 1 in the center, and then 2, like, a little ways forward, diagonal from that cone, and then same thing backwards, like 2 diagonal from that cone. And the point of this drill is to work on drop step, and drop step is so important because it's really what gives you that good jump on the ball. So what you do, basically, you have someone in front of the cones, and they'll toss you the ball. So say they're not going to tell you where they're tossing it, so you have to react. And say they toss it forward, you're going to take a good first initial step forward, and that's just really good, helping with good jump. So that's my favorite drill. And then I always try to do, when I go out to do ball, like hit balls and everything, I try to always do the everyday drills, like basic open up and catch the ball, because I feel like those are so important, and they're really helpful with just developing good outfield mechanics. Were you recruited on outfield only or as a utility? Do you play any other positions? Well, I would say I was more recruited as an outfielder, but I can play other positions. I used to be primarily a second baseman, and my first PGF in 14U, like, I was picked up by the Bullets to be a second baseman. So, like, if I needed to be pulled into the infield and not play outfield, I definitely could do it. But I've really been primarily an outfielder the past 2 years, but I could, if I needed to be, I could be pulled in as an infielder. Explain the juggling school and softball and being great at both. So this is definitely a challenge too, because softball is so time consuming, especially when you get older and you're playing at higher levels and traveling all over the place. It's definitely really time consuming and hard to juggle, but the best way to do this is to find a way to get good time management. And not gonna lie, like, this is something I struggle with, and it's so hard to juggle it all when you don't have good time management. So definitely just work on time management, and don't procrastinate. When you get that assignment, do it right when it's assigned to you, and that should really help you when juggling school. And something I also do is, if I don't write it down, it's not going to get done. So I do a to-do list, and that's been really helpful for me. Thank you, Coach Mandy. So as slapping has changed, do you start at the back of the box or at the plate? So it really doesn't matter. This past season, I started at the back of the box because I thought I was just better that way, seeing the ball, like, with the different spins and everything. But a lot of people do start, like, at the middle of the plate, and that's fine just as long as you're getting to the front of the box, because, the goal of slapping is to get your front foot to that front corner of the box. So yeah, it doesn't really matter where you start, just wherever you can see the ball best and get to the front of the box. What is your greatest strength as a softball player in person? What is one thing you want to get better in? I'd say my greatest strength as a person is, if I want something, I really work hard for it, and I try to practice, like, good work ethic, and that's something, like, I really kind of live by, because I feel like work ethic can take you a long way. And with good work ethic, I feel like, is good perseverance and, knowing that you are going to go hard and never give up. So I think that's one of my strengths. And what is one thing you want to get better in? Definitely the mental side of the game, because if you know me, I'm a huge perfectionist. Like, I'm harder on myself than any coach or, even my dad. Like, I'm so hard on myself. So I just want to work on, and I am working on this, and I'm getting better at this as I get older, but I want to work on not being so hard on myself. And, if I strike out that one time, it's fine. So, yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Thank you, Larry. Who has been your biggest influence in softball and in life? So my biggest influence, I guess, would be, players that come for me, like AJ Andrews and Bailey Landry. Watching them, like, even like right now during quarantine, I've been kind of like studying their approaches at the plate and how they change up their game. So they've been really big influences to me. And in life, I guess my parents, because they've always taught me have good work ethic and to work really hard. So they've been good influences to me, and they've taught me to never give up. With your bat, heavier drop for more power or lighter drop for quick hands and bat control? I would say, I can't remember what drop my bat is right now, but as a slapper, you're not really going for like home runs and everything. So, you're really just going for good line drives in those gaps and, in those holes in the outfield. So, you don't really need a bat that's going to give you much power. The bat I use right now, it's not like super heavy. Like, it's just perfect for me. I would just find a good fit for the kind of hitter you are and, the batter and your size. So, yeah. How do you handle the times when you lose? To be honest, I really hate losing, and it does upset me, but I try to take a more positive outlook on it. So maybe that game I didn't do so good at the plate, so I might, before my next game, think of a better approach to have at the plate and just fixing those things that I don't think I did well that game. And I think that's a good way to look at it more positively so that it can impact you more positively, because losses can tend to be kind of negative, Have you played ball your whole life? No. So like I said earlier, I was a dancer for 9 years. So I got into softball way later than a lot of other kids. So I didn't start playing park ball or like recreation ball until I was 10 years old. And I remember just feeling so behind. So that's kind of what really motivated me to get better, because I just felt so behind in the whole process because I started so late. So yeah, and I didn't get into like travel ball until I was 11. So if you could sit down for dinner with one softball player, current or past, pick their brain, who would that be? Oh, that's a hard question. I would say Bailey Landry, because I've talked to Bailey Landry before, but if I could just like sit down with her and pick her brain, I would definitely do that, because I just feel like when she played, she was such of a threat. Because I recently just like rewatched one of the games from 2016 when she played, and she would literally take a pitch like just standing ready to smack it, and then the next pitch she'd go and start her slapping steps and slap it. And I just want to know like what was going on through her head during that time, like what was her goal, what was her plan at the plate. So yeah, definitely Bailey Landry. Yeah, my dad is pretty hard on me, but in a good way. I think I'm a little harder on myself being like a perfectionist. Oh, okay, so this question is your speed natural or do you train regularly? So I did have a little bit of natural speed. Like when I first started out, I was running like 2.8s and 2.9s, but I wanted to get down to, my ultimate goal is a 2.5, and I did reach that, but I want to get like 2.5 regularly, because regularly right now I'm kind of in the 2.6 range. So I did train a lot. I started training when I was 13, and I would just work on speed and strength, because if you knew me, like, I was like the size of my pinky, like, I was so tiny. So working out and getting some meat on my bones and working on speed and agility really helped me to drop those 0.2 of a second, and I'm still working on that. I'm trying to get down to another 1/10 of a second, and right now it's just kind of the small things. So that's what I've been working on during quarantine. What's one thing you look forward to when playing in Tiger Park in Baton Rouge? So watching the games, like, on TV, and I've been to a few games, the fans they get so into it, and it seems so fun to play for the fans like that. They're just so into it, and I'm really excited to play for fans that get into it like that. How important is consistency in your recruiting to find recruiting success? Consistency with your scout, with coaches, and communication, etc. Consistency is definitely key. Like, and Coach Mandy was really good with this. Every week she'd be like, "Hey, have you done this? Have you done this?" And she was really good at keeping me on track. And it's so important to email coaches at least once or every 2 weeks, because you want to develop that communication with them, which is really important in the recruiting process. So that's my biggest advice with consistency. It is really important because you want to stay on that coach's radar if they do have interest in you, and consistency is really important with that, so they remember who you are, because there's hundreds of kids emailing these coaches. What are some good drills for speed? I don't know if y'all know what this term is. Maybe if you look it up on Google, there might be some videos, but some things I would always do before my workouts are called, like, A-skips, and you just kind of, like, go like this, and you drive your foot in really hard, and that just helps you with your speed. And I used to do these wall drills, so you get on your wall like this, and you put your foot up, and you just, like, you have someone by you, and they're, like, next, and you just switch. And then at some point, that person can be like, all right, go, and then you just start going as fast as you can. And I think that really helps to build up speed and helps with your mechanics, because something that really helped me was, like, I was just naturally fast. So when I started training, I got that good mechanics down, and that really helped me get faster. And then another thing is like band work. If you have a band, like, put it around your waist and have someone hold it, and just have that resistance, and that really helps too, because you'll probably felt this with any type of band work, but when you take that band off, like, you feel like 10 times faster, and I think that helps with explosiveness, because explosiveness is really important with running fast. Can we call you the Tiger King now? Sure. That's funny. The Tiger Queen. That's funny. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get off now. Thank y'all so much for your questions. I really enjoyed answering them. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me. And yeah, thank you so much. Bye.